Hey guys, this is Eve with Scrapbooking with me, and today I'm gonna make my granddaughter that's starting school in just a couple of weeks a little notepad holder to carry one of these notepads in, so that she can take notes about her homework or whatever in school. So I'm starting off with, you can tell what my grandkids love, Reese's Puffs. Just some pieces of cereal box. And let's see, I will tell you what I cut this. This is a standard size little small memo pad. It is 5 inches by 8 inches. So this is basically your standard size for the mini. So I cut my chipboard, or my 5.5 by 8.5. So I cut two pieces, 5.5 by 8.5, one for the front, one for the back, because I want it to open like this, like a book, not flip up. And then I cut a little spine piece. What I did is I just measured how wide this was, and it's a little shy of 1/4 inch. So I just cut this at 1/2 inch. That'll give plenty of room for her to, I'm going to put a little pocket right here. She can stuff little notes and things down in there. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to cover this with 2 different papers. I'm going to cover it once with the brown paper, and then I am going to cover it with my design paper. That'll just give it a little bit extra strength and to keep anything from showing through. So I cut these sheets at 6 inches and 9 1/2. So all you need to do is just take your piece that you are going to cover and then just add about 1/2 inch all the way around, and that will get the size that you need. Now on this one, I'm not going to put it in the center. I'm going to put it on over to the edge, because what I'm going to do is I have a piece for this. And let me make sure I pick up the right one. I cut a piece for this center here that is 1 7/8 wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right in the center of it, and then I'm going to take these and put them up close to the edge, glue them down, and then I'll be pulling these over here. That will add extra strength to the spine as well. So let's get started on this. And I'm going to use my score tape. That will add lots of extra strength to it. So I'm going to put my score tape all the way around the edges. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put my score tape all the way around. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to use my ATG tape in the center between all this. And now we're going to center it from top to bottom. Whoops, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up 1/2 inch and put me a line on here. This will make it much easier for me to get this straight. So I'm just marking 1/2 inch from the bottom and drawing a line. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And the same thing on this one. That just gives me a good line to position this in, because you have one shot when you're using score tape, basically. And I want to try to get it right the first time. Okay, there we go. So we got that one down. Let's go ahead and put the center one down. And I just put score tape, 2 pieces on this one, and that covered it. Let's see if I can get it off. And I'm just going to put this right in the center. And then just keep it as straight as I possibly can up through there. Okay, so there is that. And now what we want to do is we want to lay this one on top of that, leaving a gap between them because we want a good fold. So what you want to do when you're leaving a gap between these is you want to use the width of a piece of chipboard, or you can use your ruler, your Tim Holtz ruler, put the metal tip or the metal end down in there, and then butt them up together just like that. That will work perfectly. So first what we need to do is put some score tape down through here. And put it right at the edge. And I'm putting it on the outside. I'm just going to peel that one off. You can lay your ruler down there beside that one. And since you have that little line that's drawn on this one over here, you have a good guide to go by. And I'm just making sure that I have both of them pressed up against it, and there you go. So you have them put together, and you have that gap that you need in between there. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. So there we go. We have both sides perfectly straight, like that. And it just makes it a lot easier to get everything straight. So see, we have our spine now reinforced. Let me make sure I'm zoomed all the way out. Seems like, nope. Okay. Alright, and now what we're going to do is take our bond folder, and we're just going to go down through here and kind of break some of the fibers in this line. I'm not pressing hard. I'm not using the point. I'm just using the side of the bone folder. I probably called it a scoreboard. This is a bone folder. Just breaking some of the fibers, that's all I'm doing. And then you can start folding just a little, real easy. Don't force it, just let it kind of go on its own. If you do that, then you won't have to worry about breakage. So we'll do a little bit more. And then just kind of roll it up. And there we go. We've got our beginnings. Alright, now what we're going to do now is we're going to clip these corners, because this is going to fold over this to make a good, nice, sharp corner. Now, I don't clip my corners like a lot of people do. They go straight across here like this. I find that that doesn't necessarily give me the best corners. That's just me. Do it the way that is easiest for you. I kind of do a little cut in like that, and I leave just a little bit of room, about a 1/16 of an inch on the end there. See, I'm taking kind of an angle out instead of going straight across. It just seems to be a little easier for me. For some people, the other works better, and that's fine. Either way, strictly up to you. The way that you can do your corners the best is what works. Okay. And now we're going to put down some score tape. And I like to clip my corners before I put my score tape down. That way I don't waste any score tape by running it too far or having to cut some of it off. Now what you need to do is take your bone folder and take the tip of your bone folder and go around right up against the chipboard, cardboard, whatever you're using, and just run that bone folder right up against it to give it so that it will break down those fibers and make it fold a lot easier. Okay, I think that's good, and we are ready to start assembling this. I always start with the sides. So I'm going to take one side off at a time, and I'm going to take this and just slightly roll it. That gives me a little bit of bend in there. Take the end of my bone folder, the other end, not the sharp end, and just run it back and forth on the outside of that. This is, again, breaking the fibers down, getting it to where you can manipulate it just a little bit. Fold it up in the center and then work your way out. There you go. Flip it around to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to roll it up a little bit. And we're going to take our bone folder and just pressing it up against that, running it back and forth. And if you do this just a few times, you'll see that those fibers start loosening up, and it's so much easier to bend. Just like that. There again, start in the center and work your way out. And then always crease it with your bone folder. Now you're ready for the ends. Now on the end, if you have any that's hanging over just a little bit to where it looks like it's not gonna make you a good fold, then I don't use my bone folder because this one that I have is pretty wide. I take this little end of the tool. This is the Kaiser Craft, and it is called a die release tool, but I call it a pokey tool or a pokey thing half the time. But I take the end of this and I just fold that in on both ends right there. And then again, just kind of roll it a little at the time. Take the other end of your bone folder and start in the middle and press that out. And there you go. Pretty corners, and everything is all folded up. Here again, I'm going to take this little thing, I'm going to fold that down and kind of press it in. I'm going to take that little bit right there, fold it down and kind of press it in. This little tool, the end of that is really good for that because it can get into that little edge right there. Okay, so we've got all of those. Now what you want to do is just take your bone folder and go over the edge. It's a little bit harder with this this chipboard with a cereal box, but you can do it. Just kind of flatten out those little edges there. Just makes it look a little bit nicer. And then just make sure, look all the way around, make sure everything is stuck down well, that you don't see any places that are lifting up when you try to fold it. That kind of thing. And I think it looks pretty good. I am going to put just a little bit of glue right up under there, using my fine tip to kind of press it up under there. I'm going to cover mine with this pattern paper right here, and this one is 8 1/4 by 11 3/8 is the size of this, and that goes just exactly like you need it right there. So you just got just a tiny bit of the brown showing around. Now I am going to put this down with just my ATG tape, because this is going to need to hold, but it doesn't need to hold as the score tape does, as the outside of the album does, or the note holder. So we're going to run some right at the edge, and I'm just going to make sure that I get it right at the edge, and just lots of strips down through here, because I don't want this buckling up on me or folding up when I'm trying to put something else in here. So I'm going to use quite a bit. The good thing about it is this ATG tape in our store is very, very inexpensive, so therefore you can use as much as you need. I have lots of people that send me messages and ask me where do I get my supplies for the projects that I make. All of my supplies come out of our store. Our store link is below. We have a Facebook store. We have a .com store, and then I also have a brick and mortar store. So all of my items come from our store. So all I'm going to do is kind of center that. I'm going to put, leaving about a little less than 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And just pressing that down really well. I'm going to use my bone folder, run across it. And then here again is where you want to go down those seams, or down the little bends where this is going to fold together. So you want to run your bone folder down through there. As I bend it on one side, I do keep running my bone folder down, not the sharp edge and not really hard, just light pressure all the way down. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I get it started folding, and then I just press it down just a little as I'm pressing up on the back of this. Alright, I'm going to cover the outside of hers with this. I think this is really cute. Now this is an older paper. It's from probably a couple of years ago. It's called Paper and Glue. It's by Echo Park. We don't have this in the shop anymore, but we are going to have a back to school sale that will be coming up probably about 8 days. I'll have the definite date in the description below. But I will have a little bit of this paper in there if you want to grab some. It's a really cute paper for a back to school project. Even that side would be cute, but I think I'm going to use this side for her. I like that. I like all the backpacks and the glue and paper. The only thing is you can't tell which side's up and which side's down. I don't guess it matters. So we're going to put this on here, and I did cut this piece. I'm not sure if I told you. This piece is cut at 11 1/2 by 8 1/4. So we're going to put some ATG tape on here all the way around the edges, just like we did on the inside, and then all over it, because we do want this to stick really well. Now you can cover the front one color, the back another color. You don't have to use the full sheet like I'm using. I just want mine all one color. And I want it all one piece, and that way it'll hold up. It's adding strength to the little notebook, so it'll hold up a little bit better. Now I'm putting this ATG tape, especially in the middle, really, really close together, almost on top of each other. Because when the little notebook bends, I don't want it to buckle up or come apart. So we're going to put lots and lots of ATG tape on here. I was just doing a little bit of bending to get this piece a little bit limbered up, the piece that I just put on the outside. My battery cut off, so I'm not sure if you missed anything or not, but if you'll notice, everything is really smooth and laying down. That's from using lots and lots of tape. You could use wet glue on this, but if it's a thin paper, it may buckle up a little bit on you. That's why I like to use the ATG tape. It's not expensive, and I don't have to worry about it buckling up, and it does hold very, very well. So, and two, if you get any little bit of tape on the outside, all you have to do is just rub it with your finger and it comes off. Alright, so we've got that much done. We're almost finished. Alright, we're going to put this right there. So what we're going to do, I've got a piece here that is, this piece is about 9 1/4, and it is 1.5 inches wide. It's just a scrap piece of the paper that I used on the outside. All I'm going to do is put this at the back part of my little notebook here. I'm going to kind of center it where I have the same amount sticking out on each side, and then I'm just going to fold. I'm not going to fold right up to the little notebook. I'm going to leave a little bit of room just so it slides in and out easy. See, I'm leaving just a little bit on, I hope you can see that. Let's see. There we go. I'm leaving just a little bit of room sticking out on each side so that it's not right up against it, and it will slide in and out real easy. Then I'm just going to take that back out and do a good fold on that. If I can find my bone folder. Okay, we're going to put this back under here. Before we take that score tape, the backing off the score tape, I'm going to push it up to the top, kind of getting it even. And there again, I'm going to lay it back down. Okay, I'm going to take my score tape off of either side. Alright, and now is where you want to make sure that you get this straight. So, I kind of lay it down at the bottom. And you want that right and press it down. Now you could cover this if you want. I'm not going to bother with it because I know that, you know, she's not going to care. I like that it's black, so that's fine. Alright, so there we've got that, and as you can see, it will slide in and out. So when this one fills up, she can put her another one in there. And now I'm going to put her a little pocket over here. I went ahead and cut out, this is just a little piece of paper that is cut. It's from the same collection. This is cut 5 5/8 by 4. And then I just scored it at 1/4 of an inch. I think that's 1/4. Let me look. I'm sorry, I scored that at 3/8 of an inch on 3 sides. And then I cut out my little notches right here and right here, like I cut them. And now I'm just going to put some score tape on this. So I'm going to put a little run right up through there. I'm going to put some right down through here. And some on this side. Now you could make your pocket flat just by putting a piece of paper across there. That would be fine. But what this does, if you make the little pocket like this, is what this does is give just a little bit more room for them to add added extras in there. Now I fold the sides in and the bottom up. What this does is this seals my score tape on the outside so that when I slide things in and out of here, it doesn't touch or get anywhere near the score tape. So it doesn't stick to the score tape. And then as you can see, it makes its own little pocket down in there. So all I need to do here is just center it up between my score line there of my spine and the side, just like that. Press it down. And then I cut out another 2 little pieces from the same collection. This just says My Bookworm, and this is just the little worm. So I'm going to put those on there. I'm just going to use some art glitter glue on here. This just needs to stay flat because you don't need to put any dimension on this part of it. And then the little worm. And put him right there. And then again, this is cut out from the paper collection. This is cut out from the end of the paper, like all of the end of the paper has these on them, little strips. So I just cut this out because I want to put it right up here at the top of that. And I'm just going to run that right across like that. And then that will slide right down in there, and that can be for some notes or things, whatever. Now I have cut out a few of these little, I guess you could call it book club things or bookstore, whatever, notepads. I'm just going to use them for little notes. And she can slide these down in here, and what this can be for is if she has certain books that she needs to read, she can jot those down on here. So I'm just going to slide those down in there for her. So that is it. That is her little notebook. It I didn't put anything on the outside, any more decorations, because I know she'll probably be throwing this in her book bag, and anything on the outside would probably get torn off. I may put her name on here, just use my Cricut and cut out the letters and put her name on here. I might do that and have it ready for the pictures. And that is it. That is all that it takes. And she has a nice little notebook to take to school, take notes in, write down her homework, the books she needs to read, whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget about our 5,000 subscriber giveaway coming up shortly. We have over $500 worth of products and gift certificates and things to give away. So we'll be talking to you guys later. Bye-bye.